Hello, everyone. Welcome back to College Coaching Network. Today, we are doing another Ambassador Club live, and I'm so excited about today because today we are talking about the art of vision board creation. Vision boards is something that I absolutely love doing. I do them every single year. I am a firm believer that in order to accomplish something, you have to be able to see it first mentally. And so I like to do vision boards because it allows me to take the thoughts that are in my mind and put them on paper so that I can see them throughout the year. So with me, of course, today, there's Claude, who is our awesome founder and CEO, and Ms. Enum, who is also part of our Ambassador Club Live team. So, guys, I gave my spiel about vision boards and how I feel about them. Tell us a little about your thoughts on vision boards. Have you ever made a vision board before? Is this something that you do every year?
I'm gonna defer to Enum. I know Enum is, be respectful to young women, so go for it.
Well, thank you. So I've only done a vision board maybe one time. I don't do it every year. What usually happens is in the middle of the year, I'm like, oh my gosh, I probably should have done a vision board, because something happens. I'm like, oh, that would have been good to have. But I am a firm believer in, like you said, Mika, when you visualize something, it kind of brings it from your head into the universe, to help kind of the starting process of manifesting what you're thinking and what you're wishing and dreaming. So I believe in that, but I've not done it every year consistently.
Okay. Clark, so have you ever did a vision board?
Yes and no. So my problem is with the vision board. I have, kind of written some stuff down because I'm a big journaler. So like I write down, my wife is like, she'll walk around the house and like, here goes another pad and a pen. Like he's got stuff all over the house with all these visions that he writes down. So I don't know. I like to actually like write it down as opposed to seeing the actual objects of the vision. But it's something about when you look at the end product of what you're believing for that it makes it more real or more tangible. So I've been more open to the vision boards of recent because I'm a guy, I'm very boring. And when it comes I just wrote it out on the nerdy, boring sheet of paper. And that's pretty much all I've done. Right. And so I need to spice it up. So hanging out with you guys is going to help me, spice it up a little bit more. And I can come out of this boring zone and I can start putting some more pictures to some things that I'm believing for.
Yes, so it's funny because I think I've been doing vision boards now probably about 5 to 7 years. So in honor of today's topic, I actually put up my 2019 and 2020 vision board. And to tell you the craziest thing about it, I usually hang them in my office, wherever that's at. And throughout the year, sometimes I'll just glance at it and see where I'm at, what things that I accomplished. And so it's hilarious because even through this year with the pandemic happening, a lot of the things on my 2020 vision board still happen. So I put a sticker of a bike. I don't know if you guys can see it up there. There's a sticker of a bike up there. Totally wasn't thinking about biking at the beginning of the year. But since the pandemic, my entire family, all of us have got into biking because it's the one thing that we can actually get out the house and do and enjoy. At the time when I did this vision board, the lockdown was nowhere on anyone's mind because I did it like I always do them right before New Year's. And so this picture up here in the dress, I was hoping to be able to get to go to my daughter was going to be a Delta debutante, which that, didn't pan out with the pandemic, but everything on there seems that it always comes full circle. If it didn't happen that particular year, I'll usually keep up the 2 years and I'll see it happen in the following year. It's maybe seems crazy, but there's, of course, this awesome book says, write the vision, make it plain.
Yeah.
That's the vision board. But that's kind of my wacky view on always doing a vision board. And I think it's important for high school students to be able to do that as well. last year I had my daughter to make one, and she wanted to go to LSU. That was so. We went to Hobby Lobby. We got like tigers and purples and golds, and she made her vision board, and she got in, which it was highly competitive that, this year, but she was able to make it in. So I definitely encourage students to think about it. And it makes you think about the things you want to accomplish out of life. What do you want to achieve? What are your goals? And I know, you've told us about some of your methods of the way that you practice with your children. So could you even share about like, what are some of the goals that you plan on for this coming year? Or what is your methodology of planning your goals?
I wouldn't say I have a methodology per se. More like a process. Like,
Okay.
I like to self-reflect because it's very important. And I think Claude and I were having this conversation earlier. It's important to kind of reflect, right, on the things that went really well and the things that you think didn't go very well. In reality, the things that you consider failures, there's always a learning piece of it, right? So during this self-reflection times, it's like, okay, my business this year did not quite do what I thought it would do. Like, what is the learning? How can I do things differently? What have I learned from this experience to move forward? So I do a lot of reflection, and then I kind of sit down with myself, quiet time, meditation, whatever, prayer time, whatever you're getting out of your head a little bit and just having some quiet time. And then I start kind of writing down at first, kind of the thoughts that flow through my head, what is in my heart, what I feel like, I feel close to my heart to do. And then I take it on, if I do a vision board, and I take it more to like the visual piece of it and start cutting out the pictures and doing the board. But this year I'm actually going to do a board with my 12-year-old. I'm going to sit down with her and she's going to do a board and I'm going to do a board, because it's been a little bit of a challenge this year for her with school and, all the things and being a preteen and all of that. So I think it will be very helpful. So that's kind of like my process. I can share my board. My board it's not done yet. This is just, I only have 4 things on my board so far. But I think these are the 4 big pieces. And then I can kind of fill in everything else between now and December 31st, I guess. That's my plan at least. That's my plan at least. Yeah. So I'll be happy to share the board with you.
Yes.
And you can kind of see the results of my process so far.
Before you share it, there's just a couple things that I want to add to the conversation that I think will open up some doors of conversation before we go to the boards, because that'll be like the show at the end. So the first thing about the vision board that I want to hit is, I want every person that is listening to us either now or you go back and listen to it through the archive, give yourself permission to dream big.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm saying this is, sometimes you can have a vision and you don't know necessarily where it came from, but it's just something that's on the inside of your heart that you just cannot let go. And when you have something that's on the inside of your heart that you can't let go, just give yourself permission to dream. Okay? Give yourself permission to go for the impossible, because I'm here to tell you that if you put yourself out there and you believe big enough, you could actually achieve it. And I know that it may not seem like you may have the support system, you may not have the resources to do it, but I'm telling you right now, that dream is possible. And so that would be the first thing that I would tell people to do, is to don't put a limitation on what's on the inside of your heart, right? Just write it down like Enum is saying, like I do, the nerdy way I do it, and then go from that to action steps like Nika, with beautiful pictures behind that big vision, and do not ask yourself how it's going to happen. In this stage of the vision board, just put it out there. I'm gonna stop there just because I know you guys can have something to say on that.
I think that's excellent. It is the thought of not to limit yourself in what you're dreaming for, because sometimes we can hinder ourselves by thinking small. Small thoughts create small things. So you want to think big, dream big in order to accomplish those things. Part of just my everyday is also listening to like motivational things on like YouTube has a plethora of them, but it opens up your mind to allow those big dreams to start kind of flowing through. So I think that what you said, Clyde, was amazing, is to not limit your dreams by thinking too small. Go for the gusto. If you get to imagine it, why not imagine big?
Exactly. And I know it's a quote somewhere, but I don't know where this quote is from, but it says, if your dreams do not scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. Yes. Like, dream big, let it like scare you, dream big and think, oh my gosh, how am I going to accomplish this? But don't let that stop you. Just dream big. The amazing thing about dreaming is you'll be surprised how many things, synchronicity, how many things happen, little steps that kind of lead you to that dream. Once you have it out there, like if it's in your heart, like Claude was saying, make sure you put it out there. If it doesn't scare you, it's not big enough. Go back to the drawing board. Dream of something big that really scares you. Put it down and you'll be amazed at how everything falls in place if that's your dream in your heart.
Yeah.
All right. Second thing I want to throw out. I got 3 of them. Second thing I want to throw out.
Right.
Yep. Whenever you start to dream small, a lot of times what you're doing is you're saying, I want to be comfortable and I don't want to be stretched. So when you dream big, there's a person that you are not right now, but there's a person that you must become in order to qualify to receive that dream. And the person that you have to become to actually qualify to receive that dream, like let's say you want to be a track runner, you want to make it to the Olympics, then there's a certain amount of commitment that you're going to have to put into that dream. And you're going to have to become a world-class athlete in order to go from where you are to where you want to be. And in the process of becoming this person that you have to be to qualify to accomplish this dream, you're going to have some moments. And I'm saying this because I've been through this. I'm going through this. You're going to have some moments where you're going to be extremely lonely. You're going to have some moments where you're going to be very misunderstood. Everybody is wanting you. Why don't you just do what everybody else is doing? Well, everybody else didn't have this big dream. I have this big dream. Other people are playing small. They just want to fit in, but I don't want to just fit in. I want to make a difference in the time that I have while I'm still alive in the earth, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm saying to you, you're going to have to learn how to fight or repel thinking small, because in thinking small is where people find comfort. And in order for you to accomplish big dreams, I'm telling you from personal experience, you're going to be the most uncomfortable you've ever been in your entire life. But that you're going to have to learn how to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'll pass.
Indeed. That is so true. Yeah.
I think everything that you said is spot on, is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I always think about a seed. A seed starts in this kind of hard shell in this casing. And you can only imagine breaking outside of this hard shell, look, the pain that a seed has to feel. And then it starts to grow roots in the soil. No one sees what's going on above surface, but it's like this entire world that is happening and evolving below the dirt. Right. And then as the seed begins to grow and it turns into this beautiful plant, it went through this pain point to crack out the shell and then to push through the soil, first under and then moving upward. And I think that anyone that achieves greatness in life goes through that same metamorphosis as the seed, because you're growing, you're evolving, you're stretching, you're breaking out of this casing. Sometimes the way that you think, the way that you were raised, the things that you've had access to can put you in this box. But as you continue to break out of that shell and grow, and your mind opens, and you push forward to get to those dreams, is just an amazing thing to go through. It's, I think all the time, like Walt Disney, I don't know if, for the Kansas City natives, Walt Disney was actually fired by a Kansas City Star because they told him that he lacked creativity. Walt Disney lacked creativity.
Yeah.
How? And so it was because at that time they couldn't see who he was, but he knew in his mind and his heart who he was, and he dared to be different and dared to dream big. And I mean, there's Disneyland and Disney World and Mickey Mouse and everybody else.
Yeah.
Disney Plus, the Disney's everywhere, like
all over. Yeah.
But that is so true, and I think you hear that story over and over again with people that have really made an impact, not just famous people who have actually made an impact in their community, in the world. They've all had rejection at the beginning. They've all had to kind of fight is not the right word, but they've kind of had to find their way, forge their way, and say no to the naysayers, because you always have people who are like, no, that just sounds too risky. You should just do this. Just do this. This is the right thing to do. But when you have it in your heart and you really believe in it, dream it, do it.
Yes. Yeah. So Clyde, hit us with number three.
Number three. All right, number 3. You have to be strategic in setting up your vision board and your dreams. This is the problem that I see. A lot of times people believe that they can accomplish everything in 12 months. And then what happens is when you don't accomplish it in 12 months, then you believe that the dream is not going to work. But big dreams don't happen in 12 months. Big dreams happen over time. So what you have to do is you have to look at the steps. Yeah, there you go, right? You have to look at the steps of how you're going to get this accomplished, and then you break it down into bite size. So I give you a quote. I love Kobe Bryant. God rest him and everybody that was impacted by that helicopter crash. But he stated that his first year when he played in the summer league game, he scored, I think, 2 points that whole time, right? So what he did was he said, okay, I know that I'm not really good right now. And so, because I scored 2 points the whole season. So he said, my goal is I want to become the best player in where he was from, I believe it's Chicago. He wants to be the best player from there. And he gave himself 5 years. So he said in the first year for this 5-year goal that he wanted to score about 8 to 10 points a game. And so he did that, and he put in the work in order to hit this first milestone, like driving out of town, right? You drive out of town, you go for 100 miles, 200 miles, and you take a pit stop, and then you go get you some cookies and some potato chips and something to drink. You gas up. And you get back in the car and you go further, right? And so I think we need to set these goals up that way, that they're mile markers, not you accomplishing everything. So when he said he got to his 3rd year, because momentum was carrying him and he set realistic goals towards this 5-year plan, that he hit his 5-year plan in the 3rd year. In the 3rd year, became the best basketball player in that whole state.
Wow, that's awesome.
And the reason why it happened is because he said he had a lot of skill when he was in that 2nd year, but then he started to grow, and his athletic ability and his skill came together. And so sometimes you may be out here hitting it, doing your thing, and all you need is one relationship. One relationship could take 1, 2, 3 years off of that, whatever time horizon you have on that plan. So I just want to make sure that people that set up their goals, you set them up looking at the long-term value of what you're trying to accomplish, and don't try to cram everything into 12 months, because it's going to create false expectations of what you can do. All right, I'll pass.
And I'll go, look, unless you had the first swing at that.
That is such a good point. And like the mile markers, like you're saying, Claude, along the way, it's all a learning experience, kind of build you up to that. So just take it in stride. But that is such good advice. Don't think everything happens in that 12-month period. It's a learning period. It's a connecting period. It's communication period. It's a growth period. It's when you're cracking out of your shell. It's a lot of things can happen in that time period. And I like what Mika said at the beginning. It's like you keep your vision boards like 2 or 3 years together, like 2019, 2020. And if it doesn't come through this year, then, but all along you're learning and you're growing through that 12-month process towards the goal. Good advice. I like that.
Yes. So I think what I would definitely want to add to that with setting up those milestones would be, go big and broad. And then it's just like eating a meal. You fix your plate, you have, all these different flavors and colors and portions of the meal, but you can only take one bite at a time, right? So life is like that in a lot of ways. So setting yourself up with a plan, like if like you're in high school, your goal is to get a college scholarship in basketball, right? You're a freshman on the freshman team and you want to ultimately get to this. Start thinking, what do you need to do within these 12 months to get to varsity next year? Then to make a name for yourself, and then to go from there and there, further and further. I think when it comes to adding the vision into that, if you can see the end clearly, it gives you a guide on if you're headed the right direction.
Yes.
And I think that's why I love vision boards, because I'm able to have clarity in the direction that I'm heading. If I know in my heart that this is the end goal that I want to achieve, and I look up and I'm like, man, I'm headed way over here. I can, as Clyde with his analogy of traveling, I need to take a detour and come back around and get back on the road that I'm intended to be on. And also, high school students, sometimes you'll have friends that may not line up with that vision of your life that you have. And you have to be able to be bold enough in knowing what your vision and your purpose is, and either have them to respect your alignment, or you have to, sometimes realign those relationships. That's a part of, even maturity in knowing your vision and what you want to achieve, the goals in life that you have. Because I know all of us as adults, we still have goals and visions that we set all the time. And as a teenager, that's the point I was going to make. Clyde, what you said about instantaneous with these phones, everything is Instagram, instant text. Life is not like that. You have to plan it out in stages, and you have to do the work to get to each step. You can't post life. Life does not happen with the push.
That's true. No, it is not. That is true. You cannot post life. I like that quote. I'm going to write that down. Yeah.
So everybody got challenged to do a virtual vision board. Y'all got your vision boards ready? Your virtual vision boards. I know Uno says she got her pieces, so we'll let you talk through your pieces. Clyde, you got yours?
I'm good.
You good? Okay, bring it up. So bring it up in the studio so we'll be able to share it.
Okay. That'll work.
Okay. Do I just share my screen then? Is that how bring it up? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then share screen. Claudia, you going first, and then I can go after you.
Mm-hmm. So, Kai, I know you always looking for something to do fun with the family. I think vision boards this year around holiday time do something fun. And look, Hobby Lobby, look, we ain't getting no this is a non-sponsored solution.
We're not sponsoring Hobby Lobby.
Right.
They have awesome things there to make vision boards, like letters and stickers. And around this time, they always have like 50% off. So you can get some great deals.
The dollar store also has like a lot of great craft things.
Yeah.
And just like old magazines. If you have like old magazines like laying around, or you go to the dentist or to the, to the hospital or whatever, just ask permission first, and then I'm sure they'll let you have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing y'all's in the studio yet. Did everybody
okay.
share the screen yet?
Hold
Oh,
on.
you know what? Let me do that.
Okay. Yep. You got to share so I can be able to pull it up.
All right. Let me
Okay.
do that.
Share. Oh, wait. I'm not sharing the right thing. Okay. Is mine sharing?
I don't see it yet. Once you share, I'll be able to see it in the background studio to add it to the stream. So as you guys are sharing, are pulling yours up to share, I'll go ahead and share mine right quick. And then I'll pull you guys up next. All right. So let's get it so we can see this too. All right. So this was my digital vision board. And let's see. Okay. So for mine, I always think about something when it comes to fitness. So fitness is an ongoing thing. Of course, I have my family. Family is always super important to me. This is me and my crew. So 2021 is definitely still gonna always be about family for me, and then growing. Each year, I definitely want to grow. I want to learn more every year. I'm an avid reader, so one of my goals is to read at least 12 to 14 books next year. So that I am growing is definitely connected to that. And me and my husband, one of our goals is to buy our first home next year. It's funny because look, we're not quite 40, but we're headed there. And we didn't know for many years that we wanted to actually buy a home. You know, I had this grandiose idea of buying a RV when we graduate and just traveling cross country. And he was like, we're going to need somewhere stable to have our grandkids and everything. So he's like, we need to buy a house. So that is one of our goals. And so this is my little vision board. And I want to continue biking because biking is so much fun for me. It is relaxing and it is just, great exercise. So that's my little vision board, my digital vision board. And of course, I'll still have I'll make my traditional.
Yes.
All right. So someone is sharing. All right. We got the next person that's going to take the
Did you get mine?
I think I see it. Let's see.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Click over, where we can see the actual board. There we go.
All right.
Okay. So tell us about, make it a little bit bigger if you don't mind. Then tell us about your four components.
Okay.
Down there at the bottom, you just click where it says 34, you can make it bigger.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yes. All right. I'm trying to do it in presentation mode, but it's not doing. Is it bigger now?
There it goes. Up.
So
up. It's so big we lost her. And it wasn't enough room for her and her vision. That's what how big her vision is. While we waiting on her to come back, let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
It is.
All right, so let me go and I'll blow mine up.
Okay.
All right, it should be moving bigger. Is that still stuck at 42? No, there we go. There we go. Can you see that?
Yes. So
all right.
Tell us about the grandiose vision.
Yeah, look at this right here. So the first one is to grow my faith more under pressure. Under pressure, like we all deal with pressure. It's kind of like playing sports. And you notice that when people get pressured, sometimes they go back to bad habits. So I want to make sure that when pressure comes, that everything that I put on the inside of my heart is what comes out. kind of like a ketchup bottle. If you squeeze a ketchup bottle, ketchup comes out. So I want to make sure that I put a lot of good things in my heart. So when pressure comes, that's what comes out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Next one is I want to be more present. So I have a clock. And I want to enjoy the journey instead of only celebrating the destination. So that's why I have the clock as a reminder to get more present in my life. And also I want to throw out that I don't have a house on here because I want to get another house, but I really believe in my heart that I need to be more present more than I need a tangible property. And so I think being able to be more present will put me in a better position to enjoy when we do get another house, but I would rather not get another house if I'm not going to be present in that new house, if that makes sense.
It does.
Success. I got a bullseye because I've noticed that people that are successful, they do a few things very well. And so I got to make sure that the opportunities that may come, that I kind of push them to the side and just master a few things in order to get to where I want to be. And then as I get those mastered, then I can always move on to something else. I want to travel with my family, obviously, as we get through this pandemic. I cannot wait for that. I want to be completely debt free, our house paid off, and every other debt that we have. I do want to go shopping more. I need to step up my wardrobe piece and overhaul big time. So we're going to work on that. I do want to have more time to have hobbies because my hobby right now is work or being a Uber driver for my kids. So I want to have my own personal, it's a selfish goal here, but I want to have my own hobby for me. And that may be racquetball. I played that in college and I really love it. So I may do that or tennis. So we'll see what that looks like. And then the other one is I want to create and start a charity where we can not only use that to help grow College Coaching Network, but I want to do it to also give scholarships and do a lot of community good. So those are my goals.
I thought you wasn't gonna start playing ball again. You ain't coming out of retirement.
Nah, I'm good. I've already beat enough people, so I proved my point. Now, if we get somebody else to try talking stuff, I can come back if I need to, but I'm good.
Tell us about your 4 areas. I know we had some technical difficulties when you pulled them up. Tell us about the 4 areas.
Can you see now? Can you see my screen now?
Let's see.
Okay. Yep. You got it. I stopped.
Yes.
I got it.
Okay. All right.
So
I think
we'll go with it. There we go.
Go with it. Okay. All right. Yes. So these are my main ones. So I want really center to my 2021 is to dream, to believe, and to connect. Not just physical connection, but to connect with my community, to connect with people, to kind of just connect and believe in the good in people, believe that anything is possible when you put your mind to it, and to dream and to really dream big. I want to see more of the world with my family. Family is also really big with me. And we usually travel a lot. I like to take my kids international because my husband and I both have family internationally. And so we like to travel a lot. So one of our goals in 2021 is really to see more of the world with my family. Launch my coaching program, which is one of the things that has been kind of brewing in my heart for a few years now. And it is using my background in higher education, development and management to create a platform, a program, like a coaching program for families and students in navigating life after high school. So what are all the different pieces? What do you need to think about? So really launching that program and bringing all those pieces of information that I have floating in my head together and launching that program. Beach time. I want more beach time in my life in 2021. I want the ocean, the sand, the sun, just more beach time, work, vacation. I don't care. I just want more beach time. And definitely spirituality is a big part. And I really want to focus on that. Just breathing. It goes back to Claude's point about being present in the moment. and being spiritual and thinking outside of ourselves, of myself, to my community, connecting to God, connecting to, my spirituality. So those are the 4 main big things for my 2021 so far. But listening to your vision boards, I'm like, I want to add all these things to it. Like, I like the debt-free one. That I want to be debt-free in 2021. That would be awesome.
It will.
Yeah.
That is definitely part of the goal. I love everything you guys thought. I love the thought process that went behind your guys' vision boards. It's like great to see, because it is something that you should put like great thought into, to be able to dream big and think outside of the box and think about life differently. It's another year, things are changing. This gives families something great to be able to do together. Now with the holiday season, with COVID, people aren't traveling as much, but it gives everyone a great opportunity to do something together, to dream big together. I think it's a good time to do so. So Clyde, what's your
family?
What's your closing for us today?
Yeah, closing is we want to wish you and your families a Merry Christmas. Reflect and just be grateful for being able to make it through a very, very crazy time that we've been in. But know that the best is yet to come for you and for your family and for your future. And just believe that it's possible. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. Just believe that it's going to happen. And I promise you, it's going to show up. All the confirmations that you need to keep you on the right track will show up, and they will give you all that you need at the moment. And I'll say this and I'm done. At the moment when you in your heart sometimes want to give up, the confirmation will come to let you know that you're just getting started. So have an amazing rest of the year, and I wish you guys well.
Yes, happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays.